Welcome back. The South Dakota women's basketball team still remains perfect in Summit League play with an 11-0 record and has secured a top 2 seed come tournament time. With 3 games remaining in the league schedule for the Yotes, Dawn Plitzuweit is looking to have her team playing their best basketball and stay healthy heading into March. For more on that, here's Jay Elsen with Coach P.
All right, Dawn, coming into last week's game against Fort Wayne, I know one of the biggest questions you and everybody else had was concerning the health of Elsen. So when did you know you were going to have her back and she was going to be ready to go for you?
Well, we had her on Tuesday in practice, and she looked pretty good. And then Wednesday, certainly got into the lineup, didn't start the game, but played really, really well when she was on the floor for us.
Yeah, she's not used to that coming off the bench, but does well with it this time. 12 points, 4 of 5 shooting in 23 minutes. So outside the numbers, though, how'd you feel like she looked?
I thought she played very aggressively. I thought she had her explosiveness back. I thought she did a lot of good things for us. And, you know, Elsen makes an impact on the offensive end, certainly, but we also miss her on the defensive end with her ability to cut kids off and make life difficult and also to finish plays with rebounds.
Did you notice that flow of the offense that was lacking a little bit early against North Dakota State? Was that back as soon as she comes back on the floor?
Well, I thought we had it back even with the lineup that we had because we'd practiced accordingly and thought we moved the ball and shared the ball well at the beginning of the Fort Wayne game.
Individually, outside of Elsen, Kate Liveringhouse got off to another fast start. She had 10 of her 12 points in the first 4 minutes of this game. Scoring in bunches is becoming kind of a normal thing for her, but what was the key to this particular fast start?
Well, I thought Kate did a really nice job getting up and down the court and getting some early offensive touches for us. In transition, got around the rim, posted up, but then also stepped out when her teammates penetrated and kicked it to her, and she got some good shots.
Another big night in the paint for you. Kate was part of that, but she didn't do all her damage around the rim. Other players did. I think in the 2 games, you outscored them 96-32 in the lane. So can you explain that level of success?
Right. The first time we had 54 points in the paint. We were really trying to attack and get to that level again. Scored 42 points, I think, in the paint this time. And, you know, really, Fort Wayne is a little bit smaller of a team, and so it's not a surprise that we're trying to attack them around the rim, post up different kids, but also penetrate to get there. And I thought what Fort Wayne did differently this time we played them is when we dribble penetrated, they really made life tough for us and made us kick it out. And then I thought our kids in the second half were really the recipient of some pretty good looking shots.
Taylor Frederick came in, gave you a nice night off the bench as well. 5 of 5 from the floor.
I thought she played a great game. We talked about that even heading down to Fort Wayne the games before. I thought she played really well. Maybe didn't score as much, but really did a nice job for us, really becoming more comfortable, more confident, and we need that out of her.
All right, well, let's talk defense now. This was actually the 8th time in 11 Summit League games that you've held your opponent to 61 points or less. Now, that's pretty good, but I know one thing that you've been focused on is defensive field goal percentage. So Fort Wayne shoots 38% this game. Satisfied?
Satisfied with that. I thought we did a nice job. The area that we could get better in this game is keeping them off the free throw line. I thought Fort Wayne really started to attack us with some drill penetration and got to the rim and got to the free throw line that way. You know, and in some ways, when teams start to play that way, you have to have a counter to it, whether it's a zone or some other look, to try to limit that penetration.
Sure. All right, well, with that win, you officially secured a top 2 seed for the Summit League tournament. That's great news. That part of it's off the table for you. But at the same time, a lot of work to do. A couple of games this week, starting with a trip to Omaha on Wednesday. So your thoughts on this round 2 with the Mavericks?
Well, I thought the first time that we played Omaha, we played really well in the first half. Did a very nice job defensively. In the second half, they really started to attack us more aggressively. And then when they did that, they got some offensive rebounds with it. So in the first half, again, we did a good job containing them. In the second half, they got going a little bit and got to the free throw line, I think 16 times, and had 17 offensive rebounds against us. So 2 areas that we really need to clean up going into this matchup against them.
Back here Saturday to take on Oral Roberts, and this is a team that gave you some fits down in Tulsa. So how do you make sure that you make it a little easier on yourselves this time around?
Well, we need to get off to a faster start. In that game at Oral Roberts, we got some really good shots around the rim early and missed them, and scored at a 20% clip in the first quarter. So that is a mainstay for us. We need to really get off to a good start by getting to the rim, but also finishing at the basket more aggressively than we did.
All right, well, good luck to you this week, and hopefully we'll have some good news to talk about again next week.
Sounds good. Thanks, Jay.
All right, thank you, Dawn. Kelly, we'll send it back to you.
All right, thanks so much, Jay. The Coyote women headed south today for Omaha. They'll take on the Mavericks in Baxter Arena tomorrow. Tip-off is set for 7 p.m., and you can find links to live audio, video, and stats on GoYotes.com. When we return, it's time for water cooler talk. Alex Heinert and Marty Mueller chat all things UND hockey. That's next on Midco Sports Tonight.